They say the market is a battlefield, but I don't think that's true because battles are fought against others. Trading is fought within. Every chart, every candle, every decision is not a fight against price, but a conversation with your own emotions. Greed, fear, doubt, hope. They all speak through the movement of price, through the noise inside your head, through the quiet moments when you hesitate to act. This isn't a video about strategy. It's about the space between thought and action, between analysis and impulse, between knowing and doing. This is your reminder that momentum isn't a setup. It's a state of mind, a reflection of discipline, patience, and belief. The same forces that move price also move you. Welcome to Mind Over Markets. This is the One-Page Momentum Playbook, a guide not to control the market, but to master the one thing you truly can yourself. I used to think that momentum was just another strategy, a technical setup, a pattern on a chart. But I was wrong. Momentum isn't about lines or candles. It's about psychology, collective emotion expressed through price. It's the pulse of human belief, fear, and greed moving together in one direction. When I finally understood that everything changed, because momentum is not the market moving, it's people moving. It's us. And to trade momentum successfully, I had to stop fighting what I felt and start understanding why I felt it. When I first began trading, I would chase every breakout that looked strong. Green candles, volume spikes, the thrill of being early. But deep down, I wasn't trading momentum. I was trading hope. I wanted to be right. I wanted to feel in control. And every time price moved against me, that illusion shattered. Momentum doesn't reward the hopeful. It rewards the disciplined, the ones who can see the wave forming and wait until it lifts them, not the ones who jump too soon and drown under it. It took me years to see that the chart isn't a signal, it's a mirror that reflects the psychology of every trader, including me. There's a truth I resisted for a long time. Most traders don't lose because they don't understand markets. They lose because they don't understand themselves. Momentum exposes that truth faster than any other style of trading. Because when price starts to move fast, your brain flips into survival mode. You stop thinking in probabilities. You start thinking in emotions. You see the green candle and your mind whispers, "Don't miss it." You see a pullback and your fear says, "You'll lose everything." You become a puppet, pulled by two invisible strings, greed and fear. And the irony is that's the very energy driving the trend you're trying to trade. The first time I truly rode momentum, it felt unnatural. Everything in me screamed to exit. My trade was in profit more than usual, but instead of joy, I felt tension, a knot in my chest. I remember staring at the screen, watching price climb and thinking, this can't last. I should take it before it disappears. But I didn't. I let it run. And what I discovered in those moments wasn't just a profitable trade. It was a battle between two versions of myself. The old me, emotional, reactive, impulsive, and the new me, detached, observant, disciplined. Momentum wasn't testing my entry. It was testing my psychology. In trading, we talk about confirmation, about patterns, about setups. But the most powerful confirmation isn't on the chart. It's in the mind. It's when you can look at a strong trend and instead of thinking, what if I lose you, ask, what's my plan if this keeps going? That simple shift changes everything because most traders are trapped in loss avoidance. They fear being wrong more than they desire to be consistent. Momentum doesn't care about your ego. It rewards those who can stay aligned with what's already working even when their emotions beg them to stop. I used to think my entries were my problem. They weren't. My exits were. Because my exits weren't based on logic, they were based on feelings. A little bit of profit, and I'd feel relief. I'd close the trade thinking I was being smart. But what I was really doing was escaping discomfort, the discomfort of uncertainty, the anxiety of not knowing how long the move would last. And that's the paradox of momentum. To make money, you must learn to sit inside uncertainty longer than other people can bear. Every trader says they want to let winners run, but few can emotionally handle what that truly means, because letting a winner run means losing control. You can't force the market to keep moving. You can't predict the exact end of a trend. You can only stay in sync, riding the emotional energy of others until that energy fades. And that takes faith, not faith in the market, faith in your process, faith that you can manage yourself. The best traders I know don't have magic indicators. They have emotional discipline. They know when their fear is lying to them. They know when their excitement is a trap. They recognize that every impulse to act, to click the button to exit early, to double down, is not strategy, but emotion disguised as logic. Momentum trading at its core is a game of restraint. You are rewarded for doing less, not more, for trusting the move, not outsmarting it. And that's why most people fail. They think trading is about prediction. But momentum trading is about participation, the ability to join collective behavior while maintaining internal calm. It's not about timing the wave. It's about riding it without letting your emotions throw you off. There's something poetic about momentum. It begins quietly, subtle, invisible to most. Then it grows. Each tick, each trade, each flicker of belief building into something larger, until suddenly everyone sees it. Everyone wants in. And that's when the psychology shifts again, from disbelief to euphoria, from opportunity to danger. That's the rhythm of markets, a living, breathing reflection of human emotion. And when you learn to see it, to feel it, without being consumed by it, that's when momentum becomes more than a strategy. It becomes a philosophy. When I built my one-page playbook, I realized something profound. I didn't need 1,000 rules. I needed clarity. 1 sheet, 3 questions. That was it. Before every trade, I'd ask, 1, am I chasing emotion or following structure? 2, am I reacting or observing? 3, am I prepared to stay disciplined when discomfort comes? Those questions save me from myself. Because in the end, momentum isn't about what you see on the chart. It's about how long you can stay calm inside the storm. Before every trade, I pause, not to analyze the chart, but to analyze myself. Because the truth is, my emotions load faster than any indicator. Before my brain even processes the setup, my body already reacts. A flicker of excitement, a flash of fear, a whisper in the back of my mind. This could be the one. That's where the playbook begins, not with analysis, but with awareness. I ask myself one question, the most important question in my entire process. Am I chasing emotion or following structure? If I'm chasing emotion, I can feel it. It's tense, urgent. My thoughts narrow. I want to enter now before I miss it. It's the voice of FOMO, the fear of missing out disguised as conviction. If I'm following structure, it feels different. It's calm, deliberate. I'm not rushing toward the trade. I'm allowing the trade to come to me. It's patience, not pressure. That difference determines everything that happens next. Because in trading, why you enter is more important than where you enter. A setup taken from calm conviction has power. A setup taken from emotional noise is chaos waiting to happen. Before the trade, I breathe. I remind myself I am not here to predict. I am here to participate. And when that sinks in, the urge fades. The chart becomes quieter. And I can finally see. This is where the real battle begins. Because once the position is open, the market starts testing your psychology, not your analysis. When you're in a trade, every tick feels personal. Every candle is a judgment. If it moves in your favor, you feel like a genius. If it moves against you, You feel like a fool, but the market isn't judging you. You're judging yourself. During the trade, I ask, am I reacting or observing? If I'm reacting, I'm emotional. I'm chasing every move thinking I need to control what happens next. That's when I lose the rhythm because momentum doesn't need me. It doesn't need my opinion. It doesn't even know I exist. But if I'm observing, I stay detached. I let price speak. I let my plan guide me, not my pulse. And in those rare moments of clarity, something powerful happens. I stop trying to trade against the market's energy and start moving with it. Momentum feels different when you surrender control. It's smooth, natural, it flows. The irony is, the less I try to control, the more in control I become. Because control in trading doesn't come from certainty. It comes from acceptance. There's a rule I keep on my desk, a single sentence written in black ink. I don't close trades because I'm scared. I close trades because my plan tells me to. It sounds simple, but it took me years to live by it because fear is clever. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It tells you you're just being smart when really you're being scared. The hardest thing I've ever learned was to stay in a trade that was working, to let it breathe, to let the discomfort of success stretch me instead of scare me. That's the paradox of growth. We think we're afraid of losing, but deep down we're often afraid of winning, because winning forces us to confront a truth that we're capable of more than we thought. And that truth is uncomfortable. When it's over, whether a win or a loss, the playbook doesn't end, it resets. After every trade, I ask myself, am I analyzing the outcome or the emotion? If I only look at profit or loss, I learn nothing. But if I look at what I felt, what I thought before I acted, I find the pattern beneath the pattern. Maybe I entered because I felt confident, but that confidence was built on ego. Maybe I exited because I was nervous, but that nervousness was my intuition. By studying my emotions, I began to see something profound. My trading wasn't just about charts, it was about me. And the more I understood myself, the more consistent my trading became. Because consistency doesn't come from strategy. It comes from stability, from the ability to stay centered no matter what the market does next. I once coached a trader named Daniel. He was sharp disciplined on paper. His strategy made sense. But every month the same pattern appeared. He'd build up his account for 3 weeks, then lose half of it in a single day. When I asked him why, he said, I don't know. I just get caught in the moment. So we started journaling not his trades, but his emotions. And soon we saw it. Every time Daniel had a strong winning streak, he felt euphoric. And that euphoria made him careless. He'd break his rules, chase entries, double size. Not because he was reckless, but because success made him feel invincible. The danger wasn't losing. The danger was winning without awareness. That realization broke something inside him and built something stronger. Now, before every trade, he writes one line at the top of his notebook: stay humble, stay human. That simple act became his anchor. It reminded him that trading isn't about controlling markets, it's about managing the mind that trades them. The more I trade, the more I realize that the real market is not on the screen. It's in our heads. The market simply reflects the endless dance of belief and disbelief, fear and faith, greed and surrender. Momentum at its deepest level is not price moving, it's psychology compounding. When traders believe they buy, when they doubt they sell, and somewhere between belief and doubt, momentum lives. That's where opportunity hides. So I built my one-page momentum playbook not as a rule book, but as a reminder that discipline is a form of self-respect. Patience is an act of strength. And emotional control is not repression, it's mastery. Trading momentum isn't about riding waves on a screen. It's about riding waves within yourself, the fear, the excitement, the hope, the doubt, learning to surf them all without drowning. Because the truth is, every trade is a mirror. It shows you not who the market is, but who you are when you face uncertainty. There are days when I still feel the old impulses, the itch to jump in too soon, the fear to let profits run the frustration when a perfect setup fails. But now instead of reacting, I reflect. Instead of fighting the emotion, I observe it. That's the quiet victory of trading psychology, the ability to stay aware even when you're afraid. Awareness is the edge, not analysis, not prediction. Awareness. Sometimes when the markets are still, I close my eyes and think about all the trades I've taken. Not the wins or losses, but the moments when I learned something real about myself. Like the first time I held a position through a retracement and realized that fear can't kill you. Or the first time I accepted a loss calmly and understood that control doesn't mean perfection. Every one of those moments carved away a layer of ego until what was left wasn't a trader chasing markets, but a person learning to master himself. And maybe that's the real purpose of trading, not to get rich, not to win, but to evolve, to become someone who can remain centered amid chaos, who can trust a plan even when everything feels uncertain, who can ride the wave not because they know where it's going, but because they know who they are. When I look back, I realize that my best trades had one thing in common. They didn't feel easy. They felt uncomfortable, unnatural, because growth never feels comfortable. Momentum rewards the ones who can stay inside discomfort longer than the crowd, the ones who can hold on while others let go. That's the game, not strategy, not luck, endurance, the ability to stay steady when everyone else is reacting. So if you remember nothing else from this playbook, remember this: momentum isn't something you catch. It's something you become. It's the moment when your emotions stop leading your trades and your awareness starts guiding them. The chart is just a reflection. The wave is just a metaphor. The real movement is inside you. Every trade, every session, every day in the market is an invitation to observe yourself, to notice the patterns of your own mind, to recognize that the same energy that fuels the crowd can also free you from it. And once you see that, you'll never look at trading the same way again. Because momentum is not about speed, it's about flow, it's about surrender, it's about becoming so aligned with your plan that you no longer fight the market, you move with it. That's when you stop trading for money and start trading for mastery. They say the market is a battlefield, but I don't think that's true, because battles are fought against others. Trading is fought within. Every chart, every candle, every decision is not a fight against price, but a conversation with your own emotions: greed, fear, doubt, hope. They all speak through the movement of price, through the noise inside your head, through the quiet moments when you hesitate to act. This isn't a video about strategy. It's about the space between thought and action, between analysis and impulse, between knowing and doing. This is your reminder that momentum isn't a setup. It's a state of mind, a reflection of discipline, patience, and belief. The same forces that move price also move you. Welcome to Mind Over Markets. This is the One-Page Momentum Playbook, a guide not to control the market, but to master the one thing you truly can yourself. Maybe in the end, trading isn't about charts or profits. Maybe it's about awareness. The awareness to see your emotions clearly and the courage to act anyway. Momentum is not an external force. It's the alignment between mind and market, between patience and precision, between discipline and surrender. Every trade you take is a mirror, every mistake a lesson in awareness, and every moment you remain calm when others are losing control, you rise a little higher above the noise. That's the real edge, not prediction, not perfection, presence. So next time you face the screen, remember this: the market doesn't reward those who know the most, but those who feel the least and see the clearest. This is Mind Over Markets. And this was the One-Page Playbook Momentum. not just a trading plan, but a reflection of how still you can be while the world around you moves.